The next thing we're going to do is take these 2 points, which have formed another right degree triangle, and we're going to simply put that triangle underneath. What that's going to do is to give us a base on the floor inside and form the back end of our shelter. So now all we have to do is stake these out. One of the nice things about these clips, they have a little hole back here in this grommet, so it holds it right down on the ground. It also has a little tie off, so if I wanted to pull it out further and tie it, I could do that with some cordage. But this will be fine, just stick it right through that hole for now and hit it into the ground, and we'll come on this side and do the same thing. We're going to stretch it out nice and tight. Put that stake in and just hammer it in. Now you can see I hit rocks out here. This is Missouri. If I didn't hit at least 2 or 3 rocks, I'd feel insecure. Alright, the next step is to pull our front corners up and to raise the tent. So let's do that. What I'm doing now is I'm taking this corner and I'm bringing it in to a 90-degree angle. You can see this here is a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to put a tarp clip through here again. And once I get that tarp clip, I'm going to put this one upside down because we got this material doubled, if you remember, on this side. So I'm going to put this with the inside out and the outside in for this time. A little harder to put on that way, but we'll get it. There we go. And I'm going to stake that clip right into the ground as well. Pull it nice and tight. Again, keep your 90-degree angle and hit that right down into the ground. And I hit another rock. There we go. And I'll go do the same thing on the other side, and I'll be right back with you again. Alright, I had to go to one of the ABS stakes here because there was some big rocks under here. I couldn't get those small metal stakes through. But you can see I just put that ABS stake over this tarp, and I didn't have to use a grommet here either. This tarp already had a grommet, and these are heavy-duty tarps, so the grommets have plastic or rubber cornerings on them to make them a little bit stronger. The next thing that we're going to do now is to raise the tent up and to show you how it fits inside. What I've done is I have taken this point. Remember we had a diamond, and I just flipped that over, and we'll show you that point in a minute. And I've put a stake right next to this grommet, and I've put another stake right next to that grommet, and we've opened it up and pulled the tarp up, and you can see inside, we're going to clean that up in a few minutes, that we've got a nice strong base now. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie these off and show you how that's done, and be right back. What I'm doing here is I'm taking my stake and I'm wrapping around. I've taken the midpoint of my cordage and I've made just a simple prusik knot, and I'm going to stick that prusik over top and tie it off. Now I can take my stake out and I can stake it out directly to the front. Alright, so I've taken that stake and I'm going to put this stake on with something called a taut line hitch. You just simply make 2 half hitches on the inside, then a 3rd half hitch running on the outside the same way. Pull that through. What that allows me to do is to adjust the tension on these and hold them exactly where I want them. So we'll put these up, we'll get the rest of them done, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Okay, I want to show you that taut line hitch again up close so you get it. It's an easy knot. You just simply bring your bite up, roll 1 half inside, one hitch inside, another half hitch inside, so you can see my 2 half hitches, then go in the very same direction. I roll a half hitch on the outside. You can see that that makes a very uniform, pretty knot, and again, it's non-slipping on the down with pull, so I can pull it up, but it won't slip backward unless I move it. It's similar to a prusik knot. One more to tie off and we're ready. Well, we've got the tarp set up. You can see it's a nice wide base here. This is about 7 foot or so. Plenty enough room to fit me. It goes back in the bottom end, I guess probably about 6 or 7 foot. And what Dude's going to do is just go in here and arrange these tarps so they're all laid out neatly. And I'll show you a little trick here with this. Not only do we have room to lay in here, we can put our head where the dry ground is, and you notice how Dew put the back piece underneath the side piece. The reason for that is if the rain comes down, it drains the rain off so it doesn't come into our shelter. We can put our packs or our gear over on this portion to keep them dry, and then we can lay in this side. Dew, why don't you lay out in there? Show everybody how roomy that thing is. You can see Dew's just about 5.5 feet, and there's plenty of room in there. I'm 6 foot, and that tarp will still fit me just fine. What I would do then, once it were finished, is I would build a long fire here in front of this tarp. That long fire would reflect heat back into us, and we put the silver side on the inside, so that will keep that heat generated in there and reflect that heat back out. I call this again a modified baker's tent or a bus stop tent, and there's a reason for that. On most baker's tents, you know there's a flap that comes out. Well, remember this little flap that we had here? We have two options with that flap. We can put it straight down for a little bit of protection from the elements, or with just another stick, we can tie this tarp out this way and have a sun shelter, a little bit of a patio, if you would, inside. Now, you couldn't have the fire right under this unless it was a small fire, but you could have a small fire under it to keep it sheltered from rain as well. And you can adjust that to any height that you want to here, from straight up. Generally in nice weather, I'll just keep it in the back, possibly tie a piece of cordage and tie it off to one of my back ridges. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on some more shelter ideas. Again, this baker's tent is a very good tent, but it takes a few more poles and stakes. We had 8 stakes, we had 2 poles, and about 50 foot of cordage in order to fix this out. So it is something that takes materials with you if you have the materials. And then again, we went over that burrito roll, the burrito wrap, which doesn't take anything except the tarp if you're stuck up on a ridge line or somewhere that you don't have any stakes. Again, roomy, a nice comfortable shelter that will keep you throughout many inclement weathers. The nice thing about this baker, it has 3 sides, so it shelters you, and we can pull that front down for a 4th side as well. This is David Wendell with Bushcraft on Fire. We appreciate your support, and we hope that you have an awesome day. Join us again for another video. From Rachel, Becca, Dew, myself, and Tam behind the camera, thanks again. Have a great day.